Man School 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Yo, GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? The sexual revolution is being podcasted, and I am excited. Sending a message to my bros, trying to get it live. What's going on, my people? Hey, Mike, I got a feedback. It's like a double talk. Or is it me? Yeah, that's good. What's going on, my people? Good to be here. Got a shout out to my dude, my man, my motherfucker, Big Mike in the building. Big Mike in the building.
Blocker. I had to run into the room. Hey.
You already know, Mike. What's going on?
You already know. Tri-State Mike in the building.
Yeah. Live consultations. You know what we do. I'm saving lives, getting niggas laid, fixing problems, saving marriages, all kinds of good stuff. The number is live consultations, 347-464-2827. Shout out to all my frat brothers today, my chapter bros. We got our chapter anniversary, so shout out to the bros. All the bros in Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Talmud chapter. Shout out to my man Maurice, the Q of all Qs. Got to shout him out. He's the best that ever did it. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and here's why I'm excited. I just got off of a phone call. Just did a couple of consultations back to back. And something that came up, we got a call already. God damn, I can't get it in. What's up? Let's go.
Yo, what's up, my man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from, fam?
Yo, what's up, man? My name is Sir Yogi. I'm from Denver.
What's going on, kid? How can I help you, fam?
I just want to say I love you and Godfrey, man. You guys are the OGs, man.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Fucking well, I'm kind of struggling from me and my girl, man. We've been together for like 4 years and shit.
Okay.
I'm 30 years old, man. I don't have no kids, you
Okay.
know. I'm living cool. I got a cool job and shit.
Okay.
And I was her first, dude. Like I took her V card and shit, you know.
Okay.
And she waited so long, and I'm like, damn, like thanks to God and shit, you know.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, is that something that's important to you?
Just not for me to brag, like, oh yeah, I got her V card and shit, but more like, damn, like, it's like I got gifted like the lotto card and shit, and now I have to like fucking write down what I need to do to like take care of that, or like.
I'm a little bit different. I'm an old head. I don't even let nobody give me a blowy unless they done blew at least 15 dicks. I just don't want you fumbling around like
yeah,
like you don't know what you do. Lick the balls? Why? I just don't want to hear it. I'm like, ugh.
Nah, man, and like I you know, I haven't cheated on her or anything, you know, so like we're still cooling and shit, but like now with like us being together for like 4 years, I feel like she wants me to.
Hold on. One second. Shout out to my man, Xavier Carrera, always coming through with the $5 Cash App. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Xavier. You the best that ever did it. Thanks for supporting. Send me some money. All right, but go ahead. So you haven't cheated on her. Go ahead.
Yeah. Long story short, she wants me to step it up, propose to her. I mean, I have my own.
How long you been with her? How long have you been with her?
4 years now.
Okay, so what's the problem? Are you sleeping with somebody else? Do you have a desire to smash something else? I mean, you said you have gone 4 years. You know you were her first. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, I live alone and shit. I got my own studio, and I told her like, hey, you should come live with me before I marry you, because like, what if shit don't work out? Dude, we only hang out on the weekend, so like, I don't know what the fuck she's like from Monday to Friday. Yeah, I seen her on the weekdays, but like, living with somebody else is
different.
Completely
so
different,
what does she say about that?
She's saying that like, oh, what if I go live with you and then from there you're like, oh, it's not gonna work out, so I just wasted my time. I'm like, well, nobody's wasting time. We're just seeing how it is.
Well, I don't know. I mean, listen, if you Look, if she's saying step it up, and so she wants you to marry her and then find out that y'all can't get along and then decide, and then what, get divorced afterwards because it doesn't work out? I don't understand. The logic is, the logic don't make no sense.
I mean, well, my thing is like, yo, why don't you just come live with me? You can live rent free.
I get what you're saying, and you said she can live rent free. Who does she live with now? Does she have her own place, or she live with her people?
Nah, she live with her parents, man. She old school, you know. Her parents won't let her leave until she's married and shit.
Okay, so here's my thing. I don't think it's unreasonable for you to want to live with. I mean, her parents know you, right? It's not like you're a stranger, right?
Yeah, no, I mean they've met me like 3 or 4 times. You know, she don't really bring me around and shit.
So you're like the hidden. Does she know that you're the boy? Do they know that you're the boyfriend?
Yeah, they know. They know that I'm dating her and shit. And
do they know that you've been dating her for 4 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they under the
shit.
assumption that you're not sleeping with her?
She's being naive, and I told her, hey, your mom knows you 100%. She knows that we're sleeping. Like, you don't have to be this little innocent girl.
How old is she?
She's 30.
Yeah, dog. She's bugging. So nobody thinks that she's not smashing. If they do, they're lying to themselves. But I get that she's that she feels a certain kind of way about now when she comes over for the weekend, does she stay over?
Yeah, I mean her parents right now are in Mexico and shit, and right now we've kind of been arguing, so she hasn't really been coming over. But
I'm saying when she stays, dude. I mean, when you say she has been, y'all been together 4 years, and you say it like she has spent the night, like it's not frequent.
It's not frequent, nah, man.
So she's lying to her parents about somebody that she's not.
Well, I guess she just doesn't want to make, like
I don't care.
Like, I'm fucking my boyfriend and shit like that.
You got to answer the question that I'm asking. And the question I'm asking is she lying to her parents about how she is? She's literally been dating you. Y'all been sleeping together for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And so she's lying about who she's 30 years old, and she's lying about who she is. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the first red flag. The second red flag is the fact that she's putting this facade as if she's somebody that she's not to her parents, which means she's just not being honest. Now, I can understand that maybe she's been in she's in this position where she feels like she has to uphold this idea about things. But the bottom line is, at some point in time, she has to create her own life. I don't know if her parents are happy. I don't know if they're not happy. I don't know what the situation, and it doesn't even really matter. The bottom line is, parents don't get to make your choices in your life. They don't get to decide how you live your life. So at some point in time, she has to grow up and be an adult. Now, what she's saying is just illogical. The fact that she's saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna move in with you until I get married," right?
Yeah.
And you're saying, and her reason for not doing it is that what if I move in with you and then you decide it don't work out and we don't work out? Well, is it better that you get married and you have illegal documents that y'all are married and that you have to go, or that you find, if you're gonna find out that y'all don't work out, that her not getting married or not getting married is not gonna make a difference. So what she's doing is
exactly,
the whole thing is absurd. And here's the thing: if you're the only person that she knows, I'm not saying that you should do this as a tactic, but what's the chances of you saying, "Look, it's over with. Either you move in with me and we figure this out, or I'm moving on"? What if you did that?
If I did that, I'd probably be like, "Fuck, well, did I make a mistake?" Because,
no, that's not what I'm asking. What would her response be?
Oh, well, I mean, we've broken up a couple of times. Obviously, I've told her, "Hey, you know what? Like, you're not obligated to be with me. You can. I know I was your first and whatever and shit, but you're not obligated to be with me." So whenever
but I'm saying,
like
if you said, "Listen, I'm not," if you just said, "Listen, I'm not getting married until we live together and see if this works," then what would she ultimately say? What do you think she would say?
I'd say it probably go both ways. One, she'll be like, "All right, that's cool, fuck it, whatever," or the other would be like,
"Yeah, I know I know it could go both ways. I'm asking you, which way do you think it would go?"
I feel like she wouldn't accept that, man, and she'll just still stay in my life because, like, I don't know, dude, she probably can't get
Yeah,
over me or something.
but I'm saying, do you think she would move in with you to test it out?
Oh. Fuck. I'd say no, man. Just because she's a smart girl and she's a good girl and all and shit. And
I mean, I don't agree with you. I mean, that's no disrespect, but I don't think she's a smart girl if she says, if you're saying, I don't know what it is to live with you. I want to live with you. One of my standards is that I got to live with somebody before I get married. It's not that you don't want to marry her. You just want her to live with you to make sure, right?
Exactly. Because what if
so wait, you don't have to. I know what you're thinking already, so you can stop.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, do you think that that's unreasonable? That's an unreasonable position to take. That we don't really spend the night. We don't really spend time together. We barely spend the night over here, and I don't really know who you are, what it would be like to live with you. And I want to live with you and if we live with each other and it works out, then we can get married. Do you think that that's an unreasonable point of view?
I don't. No.
Okay,
I don't.
then you have to make a decision. You got to be a man and make a decision. That just like she's saying, I'm not going to live with you unless we get married. You have to say, well, I'm not going to get married until we live together. Now, if you come to a point where two people are at opposite ends of the spectrum and there's no compromise in between it, which I don't really see what the compromise is, you either do what she wants you to do, right? And then find out that she's a maniac to live with, right? And then you got to figure out a divorce, or you do. I just don't think that what you're asking is unreasonable. And if you say, listen, I'm not getting married until you move in with me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hang out and we want to rock, whatever, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting married until you move in with me. Because what she's really doing is she's trying to hold up this idea of her, whatever her parents' impression or whatever facade she wants to create to her parents that she's a good girl, when you're the only guy that she's ever slept with and she's 30 years old, which is pretty bold. I don't know no hoes that I don't know none. Mike, how about you? Mike, you know any, just one?
I don't think that they're left. To
one
find
body?
a 30-year-old, that's nuts.
I don't know if I can find a 12-year-old with dick out one
Not
butt.
at Diddy's house.
So I got lucky then, huh?
I mean, I don't know about that. It all depends on whether she's out of her mind. I know some ones that got a couple of bodies that are good people. The point is that, listen, you don't. First of all, you're 30 years old. You're crazy. You're young to be making this decision anyway. But I would say this: if you really think that it's reasonable to say, look, I want us to live together to see if we can live together and be, I don't think that that's an unreasonable thing to ask. And if that's your standard, then don't budge. But make it clear that you're not going to budge, and then she can make a decision about it.
Well, I mean, I kind of forgot to mention that I like to drink, dude, and she doesn't like me drinking because I'm an angry drunk, dude.
Yeah, well, then you shouldn't be an angry drunk, though. That's a whole nother thing.
She told me, like, I'm not going to, have to spend my life with you if you don't stop drinking completely. I'm like, and I can stop, dude, but, like, you know how
Wait a
life
minute,
gets
stop.
dude.
Let me say this. Are you planning on not drinking ever? You're gonna stop drinking and never drink again?
Fuck. If I could stay like a year clean, I should be good. If not, I'll probably lapse.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, dog. Like, this ain't gonna. This is the parameters of what she said. The standards that what she's setting for you is not something you're gonna meet, and you're gonna make these contingencies and fulfill whatever she says, and then you're gonna go back and do. You're gonna start drinking, and it's gonna go, and then you don't know if she's gonna be okay. What you really need to we really need to deal with is why you're an angry drunk. I mean, that's really the problem. I'm not against drinking or smoking weed or whatever you do, but I am against you being an angry. There's no, what are you angry about? If you're drinking to get angry, right? Then there's something else going on underneath that. If you go on a party, why are you getting angry? Then you got to fix your shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but if you got to fix your shit, then none of this is good, and you shouldn't get married unless you fix your shit. You feel me?
Yeah, you're right.
So fix that first, and then I don't understand how somebody who's a virgin, who's living with her parents, who has never really stood up on her own, or has never, and still is putting on a facade that she's this pristine little girl to her parents, who hasn't really done anything in her life in terms of exploring life, how she's dictating to you what your life should be. I mean, she could say, I'm not going to marry a guy who's drinking, and I'm not going to marry a guy who unless you, and she could say all of that, but then, okay, well, then you got the wrong guy. It's like saying, yo, that girl is dope if she had a different face, a different body, and a different personality. Then she would be a different girl. She wants a different guy than you are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can stick this out, but it's all going bust in the end. Either that or she'll get old and to the point where her standards are lower, and then she'll do what she wants you to do. But I'm telling you, right, you got problems if you're an angry drunk. That's a problem. You need to fix that, first and foremost. But beyond that, the fact that somebody who hasn't even moved out of her own house, out of her parents' house, and she's dictating what a grown man should be doing in his life. I mean, you go to work and you pay your rent. She don't even know what it is to pay rent. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she pays her own shit, but not like a fucking.
Yeah, she's staying with her mom. It ain't the same, dog. It's like when you stay with your mom, man, you feel like there's a toilet paper fairy. Like there's always toilet paper in the bathroom. It's weird, right?
Also, your mom's gonna forgive you a little faster than a bank.
Absolutely. And but it's not till you move out and you got to pay your own rent and you go, oh wow, I got to pay for toilet paper. Who knew? Who knew that if I want to eat, I got to actually work and pay for it? I'm not saying that she don't or whatever. I'm just saying you're always in the problem that she's making these demands about a man who you are not. She wants you, but she wants you to not drink. She wants you, but you to marry her when you're not ready to get married. She wants you to whatever else she wants you to do. And then she's going to marry you. Doug, go find somebody who you could go drink with. Go find somebody you could drink with and fight. You fight. You start a fight in the bar, and she hits the dude over the head with a bottle. That's what I mean. We got to be honest about who we are. You feel me?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling, bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro. Easy. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's funny because I was talking to my man. My man, I'm not gonna say. You know what? I'm not gonna say his name. But my boy, one of the dudes who I consult with, I just got off the phone with him, and he's a doctor. Ladies, if you listen, he's a doctor, paid. He's got a G-Wagon and a Ferrari, right? Went out with this chick, 40 years old, and she goes, I'm not having sex and until I get married, and I need a man that's gonna take me, and he was like, what makes this 40-year-old chick that nobody else has chose to marry gives her the audacity to make these demands at 40? Nobody has bought this spoiled milk already.
It hasn't sunk in yet. That's what it is.
You know, it's still fresh. He did say she's bad, but look, look, your vagina is depreciating in value as we speak. It is getting low.
And clearly your sales pitch ain't working right now.
Your pussy's going down like Bitcoin. It's diving. Dogecoin. It's
Hock to a coin.
Like she's in trouble too, right?
Sure is.
So she's in trouble for a Hock to it coin. It's crazy. Bitcoin's still actually pretty good. I got some Bitcoin. But this is crazy. But so and what's funny is my man is such a good dude. First of all, he's a credible dude. He's a good dude. He's rich. He's a dude that wants to take care of somebody and wants to look. But this woman who's 40 years old is telling him what she has to do to get him. Don't you know he could get something like that at 30? We got a call. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Daryl from Rhode Island.
What's up, Daryl? How are you? How can I help you, family?
Hey, man, I got a quick question. I was in a relationship with someone who was very type A, very intense,
okay,
organized, structured, and, I'm more of like a laid back. I mean, I got my shit together, but I'm not.
You ain't crazy about it.
Yeah, it got
Okay.
to the point of just you're kind of just walking on eggshells, being
Okay.
like, all right,
Yeah.
what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? It was just, I don't know, it was too much. But I noticed that like you can get used to conditions like that.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Where like
Oh yeah,
you,
you could get used to abuse, and you
Mhm.
absolutely could get used to abuse. In fact, most people who are abused get used to abuse, and then they grow up in an abusive situation, and then they end up creating the same abusive situations in their lives, right? And
yeah,
because it feels normal. Let me ask you this: what kind of mom you had?
yeah, very hardworking.
Type
She
A?
was like the oldest. No, I wouldn't say like type A, but she was the oldest of seven. So she was definitely like a parent of
Parent of the kids, yeah, because
brothers and
that's
sisters.
that's
Yeah,
old school
yeah.
stuff that our old ass grandparents put on us instead of taking it. But is she like no taking no shit, very organized, and maybe she had to be, but
Yeah,
was that the case?
yeah. I would say like
I mean,
pretty organized, and then
if
you're
you
always
step
trying to
back,
meet her standards,
here's my
but you
thing.
can. Yeah.
Here's my thing. If
Mm,
you said always try to meet your standard. Hold that point. But here's my point.
mm.
If you step back and it wasn't your mom, would you say she's a type A personality?
No,
Okay, but you
but
said
at work, yes, but at home, no.
yeah, but we're talking about it's not just her as a mother. What I'm saying, but you also just said something I think is really interesting. You said you always had to live up to her expectations, right, and her standards, right?
Wanting to, yeah,
Okay,
like make your parents proud, right?
yeah, but that not type A? That's the definition of type A, right?
Yeah. I was stressed
I
at
understand
school
this
and
is
all that.
difficult
Yeah.
for you because you can't really imagine dating your mom, which is a good thing. If I go step
Yeah.
back and act like you're dating your mom, and you go, "Ooh, I can't wait," that's not a good. That's usually not a good thing that you want to f your mom. But my point is, when you step back, what I'm saying is you're looking at her through the lens of being a child of hers. What I'm saying, if you were a stranger and you looked at her, you everything that you mentioned is type A. My point is
Yeah.
this: you're dating your mom. Are you eating a
Or I
cheese
was.
sandwich? Hold on, what's the noise in the background?
I'm chewing some Orbit.
Okay, stop chewing Orbit on my show.
All right. I'll spit it out. I'm outside. Yeah.
I was like, is he eating tuna fish? But so here's my thing. What I'm saying is your mom is type A. You're dating your mom. And I get
Or I
that.
was.
I
Yeah.
get that because what happens is when we have, when we're little kids and we look up to our mom and our dad, the mom is what we perceive as womanhood, right? And our dad is what we perceive as manhood, right? And where there's a situation like that, and so that's how we model ourselves to be, right? And are you still chewing Orbit?
No.
all right.
No.
All right. So
Yeah.
my point is that we get into these situations and we recreate these same situations so that we can feel comfortable because it feels like home. Make sense?
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, and
Yep.
then when we get these people, and then we're as our adults, these people are, and then it becomes abusive, and then we're sticking out, and then what was the final draw that made you leave?
I remember it was just this feeling of never, like nothing was ever good enough. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like, oh, the way you drive, the way you clean, the way you cook or clean a dish. It was just like,
Sound like your mom, right?
it was everything.
Sounds like your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound like somebody like your mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Right.
Isn't that crazy that we're affected by that and we don't even know that we're affected by that, and then we create these situations. But what is your question?
Yeah. So that ended a little while ago, and then so I've been dating other women, and then when you're in that kind of environment, and like I stayed in it because I'm a loyal dude, and I don't know, I just did, but it's over now, and now it's like you're kind of out there, and you don't want to make sure that doesn't happen again, but you might also see the pendulum swing the other way, or you end up with someone who's like really laid back, and basically it's how to make sure you don't
That's never going to be a problem.
make the same
Let me
right, make the
say,
same mistake.
there's
man,
never a problem where you go the other way. That just doesn't happen. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't. What I find about guys who nice guys, what you would consider nice guys, right? Nice guys who have left relationships or in relationships where they're in an abusive situation, they don't speak up and they don't have enough confidence or enough self-esteem and self-value to say no, that this is not okay and I'm not going to put up with that. Those guys will always go. They always say to me, "Man, I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to be the guy who's the jerk." But what the reality is, you don't even have the pedigree to be an asshole. If you were the worst dude that you could be, it would come off as mildly confident at best. The thing that you're worried about, you're not. If you're talking about, I felt like I was walking on eggshells, it's because your nature is to please and to put up with shit. And where did you learn that? At home, from your mom.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be a situation where you go all the way left, where you get a chick that's just all the way. That's just not going to happen. Everybody knows my co-host on the show on YouTube, Man School 202, Harry, my boy Harry. He's always a really nice dude, really good dude, but always used to say, "Yeah, but I don't want to be an asshole." I go, "You couldn't be an asshole if we paid you to." Because it's just not in you. It's not in your DNA to do that. So that's not something you have to worry about. But the problem is that you're saying that your question and your problem is that you don't want it to go all the way left. I would think the hardest thing you got to worry about is that you don't end up repeating the same bullshit.
True. Yeah, knowing what to look out for. I mean, you can't have a list of, I guess.
Oh,
it's
sure
like
you
the
can.
Last caller was just,
Sure you can have a list.
Last caller was saying. The last caller, you were mentioning red flags, and it goes for both ways. Like they got to look out for them and the guys, and for them. But
but you got to understand something. You're calling me, like his once virgin girlfriend ain't calling me. So if she called me, my advice would be different. My advice would be different. Or different and still the same in the same sense. I would say if this is what the standard is, understand something. Relationships are really easy. You got to know what your non-negotiables and then never negotiate them. But you got to be honest. Like we talk about the three principles of the show is ACE. Is authenticity, credibility, and empathy, right? Always tell the truth. Always say what you mean and mean what you say. And always have the empathy to know that people have gone through things that you've never gone through and that you may not understand their situation. To say that, to take that into consideration is that I don't think you could be a better human being if you do those things. But to the same token, when we are talking about knowing what your non-negotiables are, you have to, if you implement the truth, ACE, authenticity and credibility. If you say that this is non-negotiable, it is non-negotiable for me to be in a relationship where somebody is going to dictate what I do and what I don't do, and then I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm walking on eggshells and I'm afraid to speak my mind and afraid to speak up and be honest about where every time I want to be honest, I can't be honest because I'm afraid of the confrontation, the argument that might happen, or I'm afraid that if I'm honest, I'm going to hurt somebody's feeling. Now, I'm not saying you should be honest to the point somebody goes, well, do I look fat in this dress? I don't need you to go, yeah, fat bitch, you look like shit. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I am saying that you should be able to say, yeah, I don't really think that's flattering. To the same token, if there's something that you don't like and you can't speak up about it because you're afraid of what the repercussions are, that is walking on the eggshells. That's being dishonest. What you're saying is, I don't feel the way that you feel, and somehow I'm going to lie about how I feel so that you're comfortable.
Staying in something longer than you want to be in.
And that's exactly what you're going to do. And if you don't understand, if you get a chance, download this. I want you to keep this phone call, because when you get through the relationship, when you start to feel like you can't speak up and say what you want to say because you're afraid of what the consequence is, right? Get out of the relationship. because you're
Right.
going down that road. You say you can't take a list. You tell me what woman doesn't have a list about what she expects from a man. What's interesting is
All the ones I know.
okay,
Yeah.
so like with the caller I
Yep.
just talked to before, she's like, I'm gonna live with my parents. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. You gotta stop that. Blah, blah, blah. And what was his demand? Hey, could you whatever, Holmes.
He had
Whatever.
to meet hers,
Can we spend the
but
night
he didn't
together?
define
What
his time,
can we
you know?
can we spend
Yeah.
a right? Mike said, can we spend a night together? Right? And she's like, you better stop drinking. You got to do this. Right? And he's like, whatever, Holmes. I just can't. Can we hang out for
I
a
like
little
to
bit?
drink.
I like to drink. And can we live together for a little while to see if I like you? So that you're not a
Can you
crazy.
quit? Can you quit drinking? He goes, maybe for like a year. It's really what he said.
And you know, he there's no way he's quitting drinking.
Yeah, that's
for
his best case scenario in his own head.
in a year. So what I'm saying is you have to be. So when I say relationships are easy, you got to know what your non-negotiables are, never negotiable, but you got to be honest about what your non-negotiables are. So a lot of times when I consult with women and they say, what's my well, I don't want a man cheating on me. But if the guy cheats on you, right, and you stay, then that wasn't your non-negotiable. The minute you stay, and I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes and you can't forgive people. What I'm saying, but if fidelity is the most important thing to you, and you say that, and then you stay, what you're in essence communicating is that's fidelity is not my non-negotiables. If you're saying that I don't want to be in a relationship that where I got to walk on eggshells, the minute she's pushing you and you feel uncomfortable and you don't speak up, you're lying. You're lying to yourself because you're willing to put up with it. Now,
and that erodes your confidence.
right,
Yeah.
and eventually you may get to the point where you go, enough is enough, right? But you're lying. You're not even following the principles. You're not even following ACE, because if you really feel that way and you can't speak up, that's not a relationship. I don't get why people are in relationships with people who don't want to make you happy, who don't care about your happiness. It's crazy. I was consulting with a guy who literally left. He was from Boston, left Boston, moved to another country, moved to Canada with this chick in a French-speaking town. He's in a plane. He don't even speak French. And she was like, I got to be married by this time. I want to have a kid by this time. I'm working on my PhD, and then we're going to buy a house. And right? And he was like, yo, okay. So he did what she asked. He moved away. He found a job. And then it was just, okay, now we got to have kids. And he was like, yo, I don't even speak the language yet. Like, can we? And she was, but you got to understand that she didn't care about him. She this, like when you talk about this type A personality, she, and very, very interesting because immigrants have this problem. A lot of times when people are raised by immigrants, because they're, when they come from third world countries or something like that, what happens is there's an emphasis on survival. So the girl, the dude was a white dude from Boston, and she was African. And her parents was like, she was a doctor. She was like, you got to be a doctor. You got to get your PhD, right? And so she's just checking the box. And so the love for him, I'm not saying she didn't care about him, but the reality was he was just another chip on another box to check. And so when he called me, he was like, yo, now she wants to have kids, and like we're not really even getting along, and can we wait? And I was like, run. I was like, run. Get out. Because it's not going to end here. And even when she achieves the goals, when all the boxes, there'll be new boxes. It still won't be enough. And none of it has to do with you. Doug, you know you can live in the forest off the grid and eat bugs and berries. As long as you got a bug and berry bitch with you. You got to have a chick who goes, I love berries and bugs. I love making twig soup. Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, you ever see two meth heads together?
Crackheads get along great. They share the box. Man, you ain't.
What are you into?
Crack. Me too. You ain't. They might have a little tiffy. You ain't smoke all the crack.
And they'll be together forever.
Forever. You smoke all my crack. No, I didn't. Somebody else came in and smoked the crack. That's a match made in heaven. man. I'm just saying, it's even in dysfunction, you could find the match of that. So what I'm saying is, don't worry about. It's not gonna go left. You ain't even got it in you. I mean, what you should do is get some hippie chick with Birkenstock sandals and a sundress who don't really comb her hair a lot, got twigs and leaves in her hair. That's what you need. Somebody who's easy. Who's easy is not gonna give you. The last thing you need to do is marry somebody else or be with somebody who's got an agenda and a checklist. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have your life together. I'm making fun of it and I'm being hyperbolic. But what I'm saying is, find your match. If you're in a relationship and the person doesn't want you to be happy, if your happiness is not important, get out. Okay?
You really got to look out for that. Yeah,
I mean, why?
You know, definitely.
I'm going to tell you something. I haven't said this in a long time, but I used to say this all the time back, and when we used to do the show back in the day, I say, put your happiness first, because if you don't, she won't.
Amen, brother.
If you don't care about that, I mean, because it's great. People, you can't let somebody define you, because if you allow somebody to define you, you're great as long as you're doing what they want you to do. And the minute you deviate from that, right, then you ain't shit. Because you didn't want to do. How could you do this? You just, yeah, I'm good. Because it doesn't change. I mean, at what point in time does that come where they go, oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. I need to consider your feelings and what makes you happy. And don't get me wrong, that's both ways. That could be a guy, that could be a girl. It's just,
right.
It's just. But I think the difference is, men don't really attach themselves to a woman for security and for what money she got and what she's earning. And if that is the case, then he's trying to take it, smash, and keep it moving. But we don't find it attractive. You know, that's not what I mean, because you don't get no props because your woman is rich. That's her money. And trust me, the minute you don't toe the line, you will not be heard.
Bringing that up.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Does that answer the question or no?
Dude, that and some. And I mean, yeah, you can't be compromising to the point where you lose yourself. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: you also have to define yourself. You gotta be honest about who you are and what makes you happy. And I think that is one of the most important things that we very rarely, as men, decide. What makes me happy? What makes me happy? I just bought. Hey, Mike, I didn't tell you this. I just bought a drum set, electric drums.
Hell yeah, very cool.
I'm teaching.
I play a little drums.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm teaching myself how to play. I'm starting from scratch. And Wally Collins, great comedian. He plays jazz, like he's serious.
Oh, that's like the toughest. Like
yeah. And he's teaching me. But dog, I was like, I want to do this. Now, my own childhood issues screwed me up because I ended up spending almost $3,200 on a pair of drums as my beginner set.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's such a first time instrument buyer thing. That's so funny.
So, but that's my childhood thing. But brother, you feel what I'm saying? You got to define what your happiness is, okay?
Yeah, man. And I'll let you go. I just want to say, I don't know, what you're doing it's something else. It's a lot of conversations that
people
I've
had.
had.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And thank you. I'm serious, man.
You're the best. You're the best.
Thank
bro.
you.
Thank you for going to call back. All right.
All right, you got it, bro. Peace.
All right, yo, Mike, 3,200, right? And then I got the V mesh. Like I did research,
so it doesn't sound as loud.
I got the V mesh pad, so you can't hear it through the floor. Then I could have got the virtual cymbal. You know, the virtual cymbals where it's just a pedal and
there's not even a physical cymbal there. They have cymbals now that look like cymbals, but when you hit them, they barely make a noise. But in the E-sets, they'll play in your headphones like you really just smashed a cymbal. So it feels like you're playing when you're.
Well, I couldn't go for the virtual. I had to get an actual cymbal stand because they was like, well, it's gonna feel more like playing drums that you got an actual pedal.
Go, yeah, will.
So I went for that, right? I almost went for the $5,000 set. I almost, because, like, why would I not?
That's crazy. You could have spent $400 and went home.
I did $3,000, bro. I got Roland. You know Roland?
Yeah, that's like
I got Roland.
No, that's the type of thing you could buy used from somebody who's getting rid of one. Like,
see, let me tell you, and this is so a lot of times I talk about other people's problems and stuff, but here's my problem. This is why I do this, and I'm trying to be better at it, right? When I was a little kid, my pops and my moms both always showed favoritism to my sisters. And so a lot of times they would do things for my sisters and not do it for me. And I would have thought, well, most guys would be like, well, they won't do it. I was like, but I ain't the emo dude. So I was like, whatever I want, I'm going to get it. And not only I'm going to get it, I'm going to get the best, right? So I was like, but basically what you're doing in essence is you're saying, I'm going to show my father. You don't think I'm worthy? I'm worthy. And I'm going to get the best of me. I'm going to have the best. This is why I have 17 fur coats.
Because you couldn't get one.
No, because how about this? I couldn't even buy a fur coat. I had it custom made. Right now, today, I am wearing a Burmese python jacket with mink interior, blue, cobalt
separate
blue.
Endangered species.
I would get dolphin boxers if I could, and a bald eagle.
Oh, those would feel beautiful.
But I had it custom made, and then the lining was black. The lining was black mink. I was like, I can't. I need a blue. I need the cobalt.
You can't have it black. I agree.
Was wrong
How
with
the
me?
fuck would you?
I think that coat cost me $4,700, right? And then I had a blue one because I wear it with my jeans. But what am I gonna do when I wear black jeans? I can't wear blue.
You fucked up getting it in blue.
So I had to get a natural. I got another one. I got a natural python.
But then you're like, what am I gonna wear to bed?
Well, I mean, but here's my point. My point is, this is me. I'm showing my dad's been dead since 2010, but I'm still giving him the business, right?
Even in the grave, you're like playing those drums.
I'm playing those drums. I'm showing, and I have to, and it was my way of, it was my expression of my shortcomings as a kid. Now I don't do it as much. Like I didn't go for the $5,000, right? I didn't go for the top of the line, right? But I still got I got a mid-range.
That's more than mid-range. That's a very good set. 3,500. That's a very good drum set.
I'm out of
my first drum set was, literally maybe 650 max, and it was like a night. In my eyes at the time, I was like, "This is the nicest drum set I've ever." And yours is 6 times that.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. But
also, we have 2 super chats if you want to go over
those.
Yes,
please.
Also, if you want to leave a super chat, go to Manschool202 on YouTube, youtube.com/@Manschool202. They left them on the Godfrey page, which is cool as well. But if you want, go on over to the Manschool202, subscribe over there too. We have Angela. Said 12 years strong, bruh, and the jewels are never ending.
Thank you, sweetheart. Angie, what's going on, Angie? You're the best.
And then we got Phil B. I think he's talking about the first call. He said, why do women push marriage so fast? Want to be death to us part after dating only 2 years, LOL?
Well, here's what you got to understand. Women want the wedding. They don't want the marriage. It's like, there's an old saying that says everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die first. You want the representation of it because women are taught that this is the thing to do, but they don't want the marriage. Like you want fidelity in a marriage, yeah, but you don't want to F me when I want to be F. You don't want to blow me when I want to get blown. I know how many dudes do I get called up that are in sexless marriages, And this is the thing, you have to have this conversation before time. So it's a status thing to a certain extent, but somebody that just wants to get married, you should run from that. They should never just want to get married. They should want to be married to an individual. Marriage is hard enough to make it work because you're two people that come from two separate walks of life. You raise different, you act different, your morals is different, and you have to find some compromise. But if you're not approaching, not even just marriage, we're talking about relationships. If you're not approaching the relationship with the intention on making the other person happy and that person making you happy, what are you doing? Smash and dash, both of y'all. Smash and dash until he gets stale. But this is the problem. It's like we're not being honest. We're being dishonest about what we want, what we expect,
and we're not even being honest with ourselves. We got a call. Let's go.
We do got a call. Also, let me just shout out Lloyd Hilton. He didn't leave a comment or say anything. He just sent $20.
Thank you, Lloyd. You're the best, bro. Thank you. Next time, send it on the Cash App because I get the money straight.
Exactly. Send it on Cash App. Or, again, youtube.com/@manschool202.
Appreciate that, but the Cash App's better. Thank you, Lloyd. You're the best, man.
Caller, you're on the air.
What's your name? Where you calling from, bro?
Can you hear me? Is it me?
I can. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man, it's D-Town. I'm from Virginia. How you doing?
What's going on, bro? How can I help you?
Bit of a complex situation.
Probably not, but go ahead.
Probably not. I mean, we can get down to it.
Yeah.
So, talking to this lady here, known her for a few years. She says she's having some, her conflicts are basically, she's got some past trauma kind of stuff going on.
Okay.
I'm trying to like meet her where she's at, basically, and no, I mean I've done this, multiple times over and over again.
With her?
Just
with her?
No, just like with women in general. I kind of like know the script in many ways.
Okay.
But yeah. So but she's never done that. I mean, every
she's never wait. She's never done what? Explain.
Gotten past like, okay, so I'll explain. So 3 out of 3, every so she's bi, and she says she's lesbian now because 3 out of 3 since she was in high school.
Wait, what is 3? What is 3 out of 3? What's 3 out of 3?
I'll tell you. So our first 2 interactions and then the last one, interactions with men sexually, were all
assaults.
All assault. Yeah.
Essays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Right. So it's not like she's not interested or whatever, but she's like incredibly apprehensive and more apprehensive than I guess women.
So she's been in 3 relationships. Every one of those relationships is
no. These aren't relationships. Okay, so she's just her sexual interactions with men have all been assault.
Okay, has she never had sex with a man where he didn't assault her?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So she's only slept with 3 people, and every time.
No. Listen, okay, so she mostly is having sex with women, of course.
Okay.
But when she's underage, it's dudes over 30 that kind of jumped her when she was in high school. And then when she was in college, one time at a party,
Okay.
So that's the 3 out of 3. So I'm working against that. I'm trying to make her feel.
Wait a minute. Here's my question. So she's always had female relationships. She's had 3 encounters with men. All of those 3 encounters were where a sexual assault ensued.
Right.
And so she's saying what? That she's not into men, or she's apprehensive about it, or what?
Yeah, so I was trying to communicate. Definitely apprehensive, but interested in trying to, I can tell she doesn't, want to put herself in a situation where she's getting jacked. So
let me ask you this: have you had? Do you make out with her?
We've
yes or no?
We've kissed a bit, and I don't know if you've in your past, whatever. She's used to be a dancer, right? So we've.
So she's a dancer or a stripper?
She's expressive.
She's a dancer or a stripper? Okay.
Stripper. Was, yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what that. I know you think that means something. It doesn't mean anything. I know I've slept with.
I'm just giving a general background.
Right, I get that, but what I'm trying to do, I'm asking you specific questions because there's something I'm trying to get to. Okay. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So she's a female stripper who I don't know what. Okay. My question is, how far has your intimacy gone with her?
Okay, so basically she feels like she's nervous about, doing the
Hold on.
Penetration.
Wait a minute. I asked you a specific question. Listen to the question.
I just told you.
No.
Penetration is pretty specific.
Okay. No. I said, how far have you gone? You're telling me what you haven't done. I'm asking you, how far has your intimacy gone this far? So far. Okay, let's do it like this. You kiss, yes? You'll kiss.
Right.
You make out, yes?
In and out. It's been for years, so in and out.
I'm saying, but have y'all made out? No? Yes or no?
Very briefly, yeah.
Okay. Is there any groping, any touching, any grabbing titties, grabbing that, anything like that?
Definitely that. Yes, definitely.
Definitely that. Okay, but have you done this without clothes?
Very minimal clothes.
Have you gone down on her?
She kind of grabs my head and moves it to her crotch a few times and tries to
But have you gone down on her or no?
I have not eaten her out though. No. Not all the way out.
So wait a minute, she's grabbing your head and smushing your face on the jeans. I don't know. Y'all are not.
No, her panties or whatever. But then she was just kind of.
Okay. So y'all are in. So you've been in the panties with her, groping and kind of making out, right?
Yeah.
And
right.
Okay. So now
she wants me to meet her. She wants me to meet her parents. She wants me to kind of do more intimate, I just feel like I don't know if I'm being carried along with all the relationship shit so much later on without the sex, and I don't want to be jump to the next. It's no.
How old are you?
All the other shit.
How old are you?
Give me a guess. What you got?
I don't know, man. I'm just your voice. Just tell me how old you are.
Just shoot it out. Shoot it out. What you got?
Shoot what out? What do you mean shoot out?
I guess, bro.
I'm listening to your
30.
voice. Tell me how old you are. Okay, you're 30. And how old is she?
She's the same, yeah.
Okay. All right. And what's your body count?
Shit. I'm 20, mid-20s.
Okay. No, so let me ask you this. What about this chick is so important?
Could be her. She just that's, what I'm debating, of course. She's just a very good friend of mine. I can definitely see this going a very long term.
This sounds like a whole lot of bullshit for no payoff.
It's a lot.
Then why do it?
I'll give you that. It's just the amount of things we have in common. It's the amount of time that you got to put in. You got to put into any person.
You don't even know what you have
in common.
It's just what it is. But I'm saying, why are you? You're 30 years old. I'm saying you're 30 years old. It's not like you haven't been with women like this. Because if you had a limited amount of experience with women.
Yeah, we're not even on that. Yeah, we're not even on that. But I know what you're saying.
Wait, what do you mean you're not even on that? I don't even know what you mean by that.
Well, okay. Well, sorry. You counsel people that it seems like that have limited experience or whatever.
No, that's not what I counsel. Don't even worry about what I counsel. I'm asking you specifically. You said we're not even on that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but okay. So. Yeah, whatever.
You gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me. I'm trying to get you somewhere, and you're listening to what my questions are, but you're not. At what you said. We're not even on that. What does that mean?
Okay, so when I was I'm not even. What did you say? What did you say right before that? Because I have to respond to.
I said to you. It just looks like you've had experience with. It's not like this is your first girl.
Okay.
And you said I'm not even on that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, the lack of experience is what I was talking about. I wasn't referring.
But I don't understand what that has to mean with her. You said we are not. Her and I are not. I don't know what that means.
What? I said I'm not even on. I'm not from New York, so I'm not even on that. It's just it's not like a lack of experience that I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
I'm not trying to.
Oh, you're saying you're not even on it. You're not inexperienced. It's not like this is your first.
Yes.
Okay.
No, yeah. You asked me for my body count.
Okay, stop. Right. Stop. Okay, I got you. Here's my thing.
That's a point of relevance.
It's not a point of relevance. The point of relevance is this. Is that it's not that you have it's not like you don't have any experience with women. It's not like you haven't been with women before. You're 30 years old. You're taking on something that you're literally picking a widescreen TV or out of the garbage and saying, I'm going to try and fix this. And you have no idea if it's water damage, if there's, this is so a lot. Yeah, I don't, unless you're in love with this chick and she's the one for you, and this is the only one for you, then I can't imagine how I would be 30 years old and take this on.
Definitely. I definitely understand everything you're saying, man. I agree exactly where you're going. Definitely in love, not like in the oh, this is only for me. Not even close to that. I'm still talking to other people. Just like
I would even say, if you're not, even if you're in love with her, this just sounds
fishy.
Not even fishy. I don't think she's being fishy because she's been under so much trauma. I don't think her intention, I don't think she's even has it in her to be fishy. She's been under trauma. She's messing with girls. She's a stripper, but she's not. She's she's pushing you, grabbing your head, putting your head in, pushing her jean zipper against your lip, whatever it is. I mean, this is just a lot.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is a lot for no payoff for somebody that you don't even know who she is really, and I don't even think you even have. She hasn't even revealed who she is, and then on top of that, you got to meet her parents. You got to this and that. Man, go get somebody that's in. I mean, if you're gonna be a friend to her and you're gonna counsel her in a way that you can be a friend, but I can't see. You have not given me one reason why this is worth the pursuit. It just
feels very toxic. Yeah, it just feels very toxic.
Then if you could say that out loud, leave it alone. If you want to be supportive and be a friend, but stop. This is too much. And you'll be surprised if you're.
You leave it where it's at.
Yeah, leave it where it's at. Or here's what I think will happen. The minute you stop pushing towards or trying to move to this place where y'all are sexual or where you guys become intimate, there's a good chance that she might put that pussy right on you because you're not there's this seems like this push pull. And so if you just say, look, I'm just gonna be your friend. You have a lot of stuff going on. I know you like girls. I like you and all that, but I'm just, let's not do that. And then when she pushes up and she tries to kind of make it into, just say, no, we're friends.
No, yeah. So all right, another detail, what makes it harder, and you're probably going to say, all right, fuck this. All right, so I've done that as well. I know what you're saying. Problem is, okay, she was like a horse girl. She did fall off a horse, so her memory is kind of fucked up. Sometimes, I talk to her about, and even have to bring up old texts or whatever, she forgets what had happened, what she had said, and I have to remind her. So
that's
then
bullshit.
It's like 50 first dates.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Is it only when she's wrong about stuff?
Yeah, but she doesn't remember when it's convenient for this.
So no, I was very mad about it, and I brought it up, multiple times. But she does forget, a lot of shit. Even
none of this matters.
Remember, where her car got 3 minutes away from.
None of this matters. What I'm saying is what you have to look as for yourself.
When you point out when she's wrong, that kind of shit. Like, does she type shit?
I already know.
Here's
my point.
It's too much going on.
Here's my point. And the way you look at this in a real way is you look at the pros and the cons. What do I have to put in to get this? And what am I putting up with this? And this just seems like a lose-lose situation all across the board.
It's a lot going on. It's like running against heading to a wall kind of shit.
Then why would you do that? Here's what I would really say. Here's what I want to say to you.
These people are out there. It's just like, it wasn't for I know that she, had like a bit of a head thing, but it's just,
a bit. She has a bit of. You think this is a bit of a head thing? Okay, fair enough. My point is, I got some other callers, but I want to just say this. My biggest problem with this is not her, it's that you're putting up with this bullshit. And what does this say about your self-esteem, that you can see the magnitude of all this stuff that you got to do, that this is a mountain a mountain that you got to climb, that you're probably not going to get to the peak, and it's going to cost you time, energy, and peace of mind, and somehow you are still considering this. That speaks to you and your lack of understanding what your value is. And it says, stop this, book a session so we can fix that. That's what we need to fix. We need to fix why you even think this is, because even as you're speaking about it, you're negative about this and how much it's a lot, but you're still asking, should I pursue this? Absolutely not. But my question is you don't seem like a dumb dude. Like, you know that when you're asking me. So when the question...
Okay, so I do feel like it's the amount of time I put in before I found this out. And then it's like, damn. But maybe that is a part of it.
Cut your losses, bro.
Sometimes it's...
Cut your losses, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what you put in. If you're just going to keep throwing bad money down in the well, and then all you're going to do is just keep losing. Doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay?
You're right. Yeah.
I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for calling, bro.
All right.
Yeah, that was interesting. I felt like I was trying to get to the point, Mike, and it was like, yeah, but it was like, yeah, but she plays with a purple wrench. I'm like, what? Well, she fell off the horse and his kids with 51 days. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, dog.
He said she had short-term memory loss, which, like, it's definitely a thing, but, like, it does sound convenient in a relationship with someone. Like, yeah, like, the examples he used were never, like, she doesn't remember where we go to lunch. The examples he used were, like, old texts or things she told me, like, things like that is what she...
I even appreciate that, but I'm just talking about his ability to communicate with me and answer basic fundamental questions. In my mind, that is a problem. If I ask you, well, we're not even on that. Sometimes eggplants just don't turn purple. And I'm like, I don't know.
I asked you how long you've been dating. Like...
hot dogs, sometimes, the spicy ones. I'm like, so here's something too. Whenever I talk to somebody, right, and I'm consulting, I'm asking questions. He seemed a little perturbed with me too, like he was a little angry with me too, cause
I think there was just something lost, like
because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. But you didn't know what he was talking about either, right?
At all, no. And he was like not hesitant to answer the questions. He was very like thinking before, which you think before you answer a question. But
Mike, you full of shit. This was crazy. This was some crazy.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. It was never a direct answer. It was always
And here's what you gotta understand. It's like if you're doing that with me, right? And you're not trying to sleep with me, right? How unclear is your communication with somebody who has been through 3 essays, who fell off the horse, has a purple
lesbian,
is a lesbian, is surfer, but there's whatever. I ripped my lip on a jean.
I think there's an overwhelming theme of lack of communication.
It's just like, yo, what the fuck? Anyway, we got a call. Let's go.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Ja. Calling from.
Say again?
My name Ja.
Ja, you never fell off a horse, did you? No?
Nah.
All right, what's going on, Ja? Talk to me. And you got to speak up. Hold on, Ja, 1 second. Right. Shout out to Lloyd Hinton. Thank you for the $20, brother, on the Cash App. Thank you. Do we have a horn? Do we have a Can we get a...
No, but that's the same dude who sent the super chat as well, Lloyd Hinton.
Lloyd, thank you, man. Hinton, thank you for the $20, brother.
Now that I always see him in the Godfrey chat, too.
That's dope. Yo, thanks, dude. Lloyd. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Lloyd, man. Ja, what's going on? How can I help you, bro?
What's going on? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm looking to see when it comes to like relationships. Like, I'm not in a relationship or nothing like that. I'm not dating nobody. I'm looking to like get married, like have a wife.
How old are you?
I'm in my 30s. I don't want to say my exact age though.
And nobody cares. Ja? Nobody cares how old you are.
I'm 30 years old.
Okay, so here's my thing. So you want to get married, but you don't want to date.
I don't have a problem with dating, but I don't want to do like the dating pool where it's just like anybody could get in the pool.
What's your body count, Ja? Be honest.
I don't know. It's a low number.
Okay.
It's something that I'm like.
What's the number, Ja?
I want to say like.
You want to say, or you going to tell me the answer?
I don't know exactly because I don't just recount every
If
time.
it's a low number, you count. Stop. Nobody got a low number and don't count. Keep counting.
I'm gonna say 7. It's around that area.
All right. Cool. So you can't. If we stop right now and I said you can't tell me the 7 chicks that you slept with, you wouldn't be able to tell me that.
I might could.
All right. Anyway, let's move on. So what is your problem? You're saying you want a wife, you don't want to be in the dating pool.
Yeah, like I don't mind dating. I want to date for like intentions to get married. So it's not like a typical date.
Let me ask you this. What do you do? You play video games, you play basketball, you work out. What do you do? What do you enjoy doing?
Art, anything.
You do
like working.
Are you an artist? Are you an artist?
Yeah.
What kind of art you do?
Any type of art, mainly like drawing. Like I want to do like comics and animation.
Okay, so you draw,
so, like,
right?
I do any kind of.
Let me
art,
ask you something. Can you draw fingers and hands?
Yeah.
Are you good at drawing fingers and hands?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. When you was 15 years old and you was drawing fingers and hands, how did your hands and fingers look like when you were 15 compared to you drawing now at 30 and you draw fingers and hands?
Like my hands look?
I'm saying when you were 15 years old, how did your fingers and your hands look when you were 15 years old?
Oh, they look better now.
Okay. I hope excessively better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying, how did they get better? How did you learn how to draw fingers and hands?
Well, trial and error.
Practice, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not in relationships and you're not dating and you're not talking to women, how do you expect to know how to do that? If you're not having relationships and you're not dating, how do you learn to? This is a thing I think what men don't understand. 2 things that you're expected to be good at is sex and relationships, right? But you can't be good. Nobody's good at anything, right? Unless you practice. That's fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is you may not want to date. You may not want to be in the dating pool. You may not but the only way you get better at this is by practicing. And so
that's not my issue though. Like my issue is that I don't mind dating. I want to be in a space where I'm dating people who I know is intending on getting married.
How do you do that? How would you do that? Let me ask you, how would you do that?
That's what I'm looking for.
How would you find women who are with the intent on dating to get married? How do you do that? How would you know that?
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you asking me? You asking me
people
how?
that just want to date for like a good time,
No,
but
that's
it's not easy.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And
to me, that's what my experience is.
Yeah, but
like,
that's your experience because you have. Listen to what I'm saying. Nobody just wants to get married. I just said this. Nobody just wants to get. If you just want to get married, right? That's not going to work. You got to want to marry somebody. You have to have somebody who you meet and you date and you have a connection with in a way that makes you go, this is a person I want to be married. There's no such thing as a pool of people who just want to get married. If there is a pool, if that does exist, right, then the marriage is not going to work. Because
what do you mean by that? That I don't understand.
I'm going to explain it in a minute. If you don't cut me off, I'll explain it. Here's my thing. You got to have somebody prospectively. There's people who just might want to get married, and they might just marry you. But how does that mean that the marriage is going to work? If you're not compatible, if you have different religions, if you have different belief systems, if you're different in terms of how you see sex, or how sexual you are, how freaky you are, or how not freaky you are, how prude, how conservative you are, what you think, somebody who's smart or somebody who's not that smart, all of those things come into the play of whether or not a relationship is going to work. So for you to just want to be married, in my opinion, is a mistake. You should be pursuing people who are like-minded and who want to date, and ultimately, because you have emerged as somebody who they fall in love with and they're into, and they see that they're compatible, that it ultimately escalates to the point where it's going to be where marriage is a thought. Now, you don't want to deal with somebody who is saying, if you want to get married and have kids, if you're dating somebody and she says, I in no shape or form do I want to have kids, then that's somebody you shouldn't be dating. If you're dating with somebody and they say, I'm never getting married, you probably shouldn't date them anyway. But nobody falls in love with somebody. If anybody's in love with just getting married as opposed to falling in love and finding some kind of intimacy with an individual, the marriage will not work. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand that. That's not what I'm saying, though. Like, it's not about just getting married. It's about everything that comes with a marriage, like friendship.
Yeah, but you have to all of those things. But you understand all of those things you have to build, and you build that while you're dating. And
I'm just saying, like, where to date. Like, it's like if I'm looking for somebody like-minded, that's easy. Where I'm like, all right, if I'm into art, I go to art events and I find somebody like-minded, but that might not have nothing to do with getting married and having a family. That just has
But you have to ask that.
craft.
So you find out first that y'all have an interest in art, and then you say, listen, you date for a while and you like each other, you enjoy each other's company. You go, listen, do you think I just wondered, did you ever want to get married at some point in time? And she'll say yes or no. If she says no, you move on. If she says yes, I'm thinking about it, then you move on. Then you go, are you interested in any point in time having kids? She goes, yes, you move on and you keep the relationship going and you cultivate the relationship. If she says no, then you move on and you let that relationship go. There's nobody's going to be a cookie cutter situation where you have this idea about this person and they're just going to appear. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to get the princess sometimes. And so what I'm saying is all this is there's no shortcut to it. You have to put yourself out there. You have to date. You can date with the intention on getting married, that if somebody is not, like I said, it's like relationships are easy. You got to know what your non-negotiables and never negotiate them. And one of your non-negotiables could be that you're not going to date with somebody who doesn't want to get married, who doesn't believe in marriage, doesn't mean in children. But you have to still go out and date them to find out if the other stuff. What if she wants to get married, right? And she wants to have kids, but every once in a while she likes to roll out in the street and suck somebody's dick every once in a while. She like a little strange dick in her mouth every once in a while. Then she wants to get married, right? And she wants hits, but she just likes blowing a strange dude in a truck stop every once in a while. I mean, come on, I can live with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every aspect of what you want is just as important as everything else. You have to define what is important. I understand that you've established that you want to get married. I understand that you want to have children and those are things, but you can't, there's no shortcut. You got to kiss a lot of frogs to get the princess.
So, all right, look, one more thing I want to say and then listen, and then that's all. Like, yeah. So I'm good with that, what you speaking on, like living life, taking chances of having experience in life. I'm saying like certain situations where it's like if it was like a boxing match and it's like you a boxer or a professional fighter, MMA or something, like, and you like, all right, it's a network of people who want to have a fight. They want to fight somebody. So say that was like getting married. Like we gonna talk about the fight, basically like a contract.
I get what you're saying. All right, but here's what I'm saying to you.
So that's what I'm looking for, something like that.
I don't know.
Like,
listen. The only way I know is, look, you go. So like you said, you go to an MMA gym. Some people do it for to keep in shape. Some do it recreationally. Some people are doing it because they want to be professionals. Some people just like getting punched in the mouth. There's an array of different reasons why people want to get married. Just because they want to get married doesn't mean they want to get married for the same reasons that you want. And the only way that you can figure that out is by exploring them, getting to know them, putting yourself out there, and asking questions. You got to communicate with them. There's no shortcut. There's no way to get around it. Even if you're talking about MMA, you go to MMA.
No, I'm saying, do you know of any
I understand what you're saying.
like
Please
that?
don't repeat it again. I know what the analogy is. What I'm saying to you is that the only way that you can find the person that's for you is by going out, and you gotta interview people. And the way you interview them is by dating them and getting to know them, and then disqualifying them or moving them forward. You can do that. You can do that with marriage and family in mind. But you can't do that. There's no place where you go where you just gonna pluck somebody out or whatever. Just, pluck somebody out, and it just don't happen that way. That's just, it just doesn't. Nothing happens that way. You feel what I'm saying? And then there's
that's great. That's great. Like I gotta accept that.
Not only that, but there's things that somebody the criteria by which you get married. You could say, I want this, and this, and as you date, right? You realize, wait a minute, I also want somebody. You go, I want somebody who's freaky in the bedroom, and I don't want to be with somebody who's not freaky in the bedroom. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? As you grow, as you mature, you are exploring yourself. You're exploring your needs just like everybody else is, and then that's how you find the person. But you got to put yourself out there, okay? All right, Ja?
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter situation like that. I don't even know. I feel like the questions is crazy today.
Yeah, and the communication's crazy today too.
It's a little weird. It's not. Is it me? Is it me? Because
I feel like not confrontational is not the word, but you're not letting them get away with the lack of communication.
Because I get tired of. I don't just want somebody jaw jacking because. Like, just people are listening to this. I watch. I want to.
Also, you got 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
I also want to know that the fucking I watch the comments, because when we go too long on some dude that ain't talking, they be like, "Yo, cut that dude off." So I wanted. There's a reason why my flow of questions is the way it is, and I'm asking questions the way it is because I'm trying to get to the point. I know what I'm doing. I mean, stop explaining to me. I mean, you're calling here because you respect me and you respect the content that I put out with, and so just let me drive. I'm fucking this cat. You know what I mean? Like, just you gotta let me drive. And I know I usually know in the first 20 seconds or 30 seconds of where they're going. Not only that, but there's things that they'll say that lead itself to someplace else. It's like my boy that was like, yo, sometimes I drink and I'm an angry drunk. I'm like, whoa. Let's rewind. We got to explore that. But it's just, it's a lot of times people are not used to communicating clearly because of the fact that they're emotionally, and what do I say all the time? Is never let emotion have a seat at the table. You got to listen to what I'm saying. And the same thing is true when you're on a date and you're in a marriage, and remove the emotion and hear what people are saying. You will have so much more information about the situation so that you can make the best decisions. If you don't do that, you're always going to be in a situation where I don't know what happened. It went crazy, and it's because you didn't hear what they said. I think a lot of times we get into a situation where we want to hear what we want to hear. When we hear what we don't want to hear, we're not willing to be honest with ourselves and accept what it is we're hearing, and so we want it to sound like something else. It's like, yeah, but she likes me my Instagram. Yeah,
Okay, like get to the root of the problem. Yeah. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be honest about it so you could get to the root of it. If you're not honest, you're solving a problem that doesn't actually exist because you're not being honest. You're making up a separate scenario that's just off what you're really going through.
There's a dude, it's my man, right? I counseled him, and I think because I was counseling him, and then we just became friends, and he had a situation where he was asking me about a situation, and he just wasn't honest about what the situation was, right? And I was like, dog, you told me that this was your girlfriend. Yeah, well, I just felt bad because I didn't want you to. I don't want you. I have no expectation, dog. I understand something, and I'm not gonna say everybody, but every situation that you've been in, I have something that's similar to. I have some in the thousands of chicks I've been around, I've had a similar situation where I know what you're talking about. And even if I didn't experience it personally, I have absolutely I understand what you're talking about. I'm really good at listening to people and understanding what they're coming from. I want to do one more call, Mike. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, you want to do one more quick one? We have someone online right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, give me 1 second.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's Lloyd. Okay.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Dante. My name is Fabian. We talked one time before about my girlfriend.
Okay, Fabian, what's going on? How can I help you, bro?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like I'm struggling right now because I made a decision to I got into a grad school program that's like full scholarship and stuff.
Nice. Congrats.
Public policy and stuff. The problem is it has a lot of different moving parts to it, and with it had me be a part of political stuff out in another state. And stuff happened where there were bomb threats to the site that I was working at.
Wow.
So it caused me to have a bit of a mental crisis because it wasn't something that was given to me as something to prepare for. And
Wait, stop. What do you mean it was given to you and it was something to I don't understand what that means.
Oh, sorry. So bomb threats, bomb sweeps were done at the site that I'm working at, the mentorship that's a part of the fellowship program.
Okay. All right. So you were at this facility and there was bomb threats, right? And so you had anxiety because of this. Is that what you're saying?
A trigger point for me.
Okay.
Yes,
I got you. Point. All right, move forward.
Yeah. And so from there, I ended up just really struggling to put the pieces back together in terms of how to be me, how to function and balance all my different priorities of school, mentorship, fellowship, all in one.
Okay.
And I'm trying to put the pieces back together, but it's been a struggle, and a big straining point has been really trying to be able to maintain a relationship with my girl because we're basically long distance now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is the problem the distance, or is the problem the fact that you're having this mental anxiety that you're creating distance?
I think it's a mix of both. I think, honestly, the long distance has made it harder, but me going through my struggles, and I'm usually one where I usually just take some time off to recenter, and I just
and you can't do that because you're in a relationship.
Exactly, and it's just I'm like a rock in a hard place.
Okay, let me see if I can help you with this. First of all, you got to understand that if you're in a relationship, you have whatever degree this relationship is important, that you have made a commitment to this relationship. Yes? Would you agree with that? Okay. And based on your personal credibility, the fact that you've made a commitment to this relationship, right? You feel an obligation to kind of follow through on this, right? And what you ultimately need, what you're used to doing, is resetting and then kind of getting your head together, and then you can kind of function normally, right? But you don't have that space at the moment. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. See, Mike, I could communicate, right? I know.
This is good. We're ending on a high note.
I've been hearing the forward caller.
Yeah, it's been a little crazy today. But here's my thing. Your issue about this let me see if I can give you some tools to deal with this anxiety, right? So you had this bomb threats. If you had to logically and honestly say, What does the anxiety come from? The anxiety comes from does it come from the fact that you think that there's going to be another bomb threat, or is that a concern of yours, or why there's a trigger point?
I think it brought up childhood trauma because I grew up in New York City, like through like 9/11, and then just watching in like Manhattan and stuff, like that be a high point site where.
So was that a big thing for you with the 9/11 thing? Were you traumatized in that way that it really made you kind of have a hard time functioning?
A little bit. I was like 6 at the time. I think it was more later down the line when you would hear about like bombings, bomb threats.
All right,
and
but
then it'd
so
be like bomb squads defusing a bomb.
I guess what I'm saying to you is, so first of all, I totally get how somebody could have the trauma from 9/11. I know there are people who still have PTSD for that, who are really still screwed up about that, right? But we have to deal with the logic. Somebody said this. I was counseling the dude one time, and he said to me, "Well, you know how psychiatrists say that you have to heal your inner child, right?
Yeah.
So as a child you go through this trauma, and then you got to heal the inner child. To me, that is some of the biggest psychobabble bullshit I've ever heard in my life, and I'll tell you why, right? If you're 6 years old and you go through this whole idea of 9/11 was triggered, maybe it was like subconsciously this becomes an issue, and then anytime you hear about bomb threats and so on and so forth or whatever, right? Sometimes you find yourself triggered, right? But how old are you now?
I'm 29.
Okay, so now at 6 years old, I could absolutely see how that would be something because you don't know what's going on. You feel kind of vulnerable because of the fact that you're 6 years old, you're subject to this kind of trauma that you have no control, because we have no control of our lives at 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're 29 now, right? You're not 6.
Yeah.
Right? But the trauma that you feel is that trauma that you felt when you were 6. But I'm telling you, you ain't 6. Not only am I telling you ain't 6, and I don't know if you know this or not, but you'll never be 6 again. Right?
Right.
And I also understand that you've had a situation where there was bomb threats or something in this other, and maybe those things. But what I'm saying is, did they find a bomb where you were at?
No, it was more like a political ploy.
Right. So it was a threat.
A part of it was that. Yeah, a part of it. I was a part of the contingency plans. Like I helped develop the contingency plans to make sure safety would happen for the facility. So
that's even better.
Close to the plan.
That's even better. So here's my point. My point is that you're living as a 6-year-old and you're 29. You're afraid of being that 6-year-old, right? And being in a situation where you have no control over the situation. But you're not 6. And you'll never be 6 again. Not only that, but even if when you had this bomb threat, right? You were instrumental in creating the contingency plan for terroristic bomb threats or whatever, and so you actually put the protocol to keep people safe, right?
Yeah.
So you in yourself, in your own being, you have not only made yourself safe, but you've created a contingency plan for other people to be safe, right?
Yeah.
Were you not satisfied with the job that you did about this contingency plan? Did you?
I think I just had.
Wait.
I got so caught up in.
I get that.
Sure
I get you getting caught up. Listen to the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
Do you think the job that you did, in terms of creating a contingency plan to keep people safe, do you think that you did a proficient job of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes or no? Kinda. Whatever.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Okay.
It was just like they were like little final bits, but nothing.
But you did
serious.
a good. But you did a good job.
Yeah.
So what I want to say to you is this. First thing I need to say, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but you're not 6, right? Not only you're 6, but you're 29, and not only you're 29, but not only did you create a situation where you have created other people safely, a contingency plan for other people, but also yourself. And so what I'm saying is you have an active part in creating your own safety that you could never have done at 6. And so to revert back to the fact that when you were 6 and 9/11 and this kind of trigger thing, we get triggered because we put ourselves back into that inner child. But you're not that anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are bombs being blown up all over the world, but they don't all trigger you, right?
Yeah.
So what we're doing is ultimately, emotionally, we're making a decision. Like when we're triggered, we're making a decision about which ones are valid and which ones are not, right?
Yeah.
So if we make a decision about which ones are dangerous and which ones are not, then that's a choice. We're actually making a choice about that, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you not make that choice anymore? Why don't you just make a different choice? Why don't you understand that logically, this phobia that you have about bombs and bomb threats and stuff is really just a fear, but it's a phobia that's really not, it's not rooted in true danger. Not only that, but you're the guy who came up with the contingency plan. Right? And when you put that contingency plan, you put every detail that you could possibly think of to keep people safe. Now, I can't tell you that there's never going to be a bomb no place and there's never going to be terrorism, and I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that the fear that you have is an unrealistic, illogical fear that's triggered from a trauma that you had as a child, that you will never be that child again. Make sense?
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is we got to live life. And I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee life, that there'll never be bombs. In fact, I can guarantee that there will be bombs. But I also can guarantee that you are one of the guys who actually are in the contingencies of keeping people safe, know more about this than anybody else, because you work at it. Yes?
Yeah.
So you questioning your safety, that's really in your hand. Your control over this situation, you have more control over this situation than most people, because you actually created the contingency plan. Make sense?
Yeah.
So this is as easy as making a decision not to be triggered. This is why I say never let emotion have a seat at the table. You're having an emotional reaction to something that is unrealistic. And that doesn't mean that I'm not saying that there's never going to be bombs and there's never going to be, nobody can say, it's just realistic. You're a grown man. You know that I can't guarantee you that, but I'm just saying, what are we doing? Are you going to now allow trauma that happened at 6 years old to stop you from living your life at its fullest?
That's a good question.
You got a good relationship with your girl?
Yeah, we're like 10 years strong. It's just a lot of miscommunication. And I think it's mainly just because of the long distance. Like, we're not able to see each other face to face.
So then what you need to do is you need to communicate more. And this conversation right now that you're having with me, you should probably be having it with her.
Yeah.
I've had this, I had this trauma. I was 6 years old. 9/11 really.
We've talked about that though. We have. Okay. It's just like it's still been a struggle since.
I get that. But I also, what you gotta do is you gotta lean into her and lean into the goodness of your relationship. The fact that y'all have a solid relationship, instead of sabotaging your relationship for something that realistically is not even a logical and a real threat in the first place. You feel me? Okay?
Yeah.
Don't fuck up your relationship because of something that happened when you were 6. Okay?
I got you.
All right?
Yep.
And I get that's difficult, but I'm just saying you got to always remember that you're not 6 and that you have control over the decisions that you make and how you can create safety in your life as much as possible, and not just be on an emotional loop where every time this happens that you start freaking out. They bomb in Gaza every day. You ain't triggered about that, So you got to understand, emotionally you're making decisions about what's a threat and what's not a threat. and you're getting ready to sabotage a solid relationship because you won't make a different decision. You understand? And it is just as simple as you making a decision. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that help?
Yeah. I'll struggle through this program, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I'm saying lean into your girl, man. If you got a solid girl, you got a solid chick, man, lean into that.
Yeah.
Okay? And stop trying to do it yourself, because that's what you're trying to do. And you're lucky enough to have somebody who's solid, who's down with you. And reason why y'all are having problems is because she wants to be with you. You got to understand the problems come from the fact that there is distance. You know how many people don't have somebody who wants their loved one around?
Yeah.
You're lucky dude. Don't fuck it up on some bullshit, okay?
Got you.
All right, family. Thank you the best.
I appreciate you.
All right, bro. Money Mike. Tri-State Mike in the building.
We did it again. It was a tough one today.
It was a little antsy, but I was in a good mood, but it was a little antsy though. I just want to know, Mike, have you ever fell off a horse? No?
No. I have to deal with problems head on.
We don't even deal with that. I don't know what that means. Don't forget y'all need a consultation. Hit me at DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Don't forget to follow us on the Man School. Patreon is manschool. Patreon.com/manschool202. You can. If you like what we do, you appreciate it. If you find it in the kindness of your heart to support us there. And if you need a consultation, go to DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so anytime I go live, you get the holler, you get the notification. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasts. I love y'all, man. We out. Peace.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.